seconds to cook. 2 seconds, you know. They want the thing warm up in less than 2 seconds and then gone again. They want to make sure as soon as them stop at the fast food place, you know, and you wait them fast food. You know, they just stop and grab where they gone and they gone. And it's interesting, you go to KFC these days, just pass and see the line. I don't know what is fast about it. They wait hours to get the meal. And then when they eat, when they get it, I see my niece spend nearly $2,000 on a meal at KFC. And when I see what she buy, I said, then I could take up my hard-earned $2,000, go buy that alone. I'm full my belly and I'm happy and nice. No, sir. No. Something wrong with this. But that's what it has become the norm. How I say it's really trying to get people to go back to what was the norm, because what we are doing is not abnormal, you know. We are actually going back to the real norm of getting up and cooking every morning, getting your food fresh and palatable, going in the garden, go pick up what you want and stuff like that. You know, so we are as practical as possible when we reach solution. You know, we need that. We need that. You know, because a lot of us not sure how to explain all of that.
Okay. Alright, carry the mic to this, please. So true, Brother Andre. And Bridget, when you really look into when sickness begins, Bridget, a man come down with cancer or whatever, sickness. Where you start from first, Bridget? You start from the blood. Sickness, we start from the blood. When you go to the doctor, the first thing they say, what they say to do? Do a blood test. You see how the blood very important, Bridget? So once you have a sick blood, you have a sick mind. Right? So that's why, Bridget, God wants our mind to be sharp. Our mind is supposed to be quick. You understand? So once you stick to God's plan, Bridget, it cannot wrong. God's plan cannot fail. It's because the reason why it look like it failed because we disobedient, but God's plan stands for heaven. Amen. Yes. After this, brother.
I used to fear about the corona and the vaccine. And this is one solution I learned from my doctor. She said that when she do it, she said to pray and that you know I have to protect my people. I say by either him have a protection, like him protect you or him kind of purge it out of him. And that's so I get to stop for it. We used to worry about it, so it can be safe with the food. Yes, if I pray before and after.
Amen. Brother George. Alright. Who was first? Sister, you were first. Alright, after Sister Bernadette, Brother George.
Okay, I want to go back to what you were talking about, the artificial. I remember reading in Adventist Home, chapter 22. It says, God's love the beautiful, He has clothed the earth and the heavens with beauty, and with a father's joy, He watches the delight of His children in the things that He has made. He desires us to surround our homes with the beauty of natural things. Nearly all dwellers in the country, however poor, could have about their home, a bit of grassland and shade trees. Grassland, I don't know why I'm stuttering. A few shade trees, flowering shrubbery, or fragrant blossoms, and far more than any artificial or gardening, will they minister to the happiness of the household. They will bring into the home life a softening, refining influence, strengthening the love of nature, and drawing the members of the household nearer to one another and nearer to God. So even tell us that He desires for us to go with the natural things, because the artificial things are not of God.
Amen. So true. Brother George.
Thank you. You know, if we don't be careful, the same message we preach about that we must leave the city and go to the country and plant our own food. You know, if we don't make that preparation and just start it, the same thing will catch us. If we not plant the food, if we are a country and not plant food, we're in a big problem. Amen. You know, my farm, my supermarket, you know, at 2 meals a day, me eat 2 meals a day. And right now, I have to watch my weight. I'm healthy. I'm kind of whole power. You know what I do? Natural food me eat. Be a natural food every day when we go on the farm. And I come home back with food. Amen. You understand? Trust me, my wife not have to spend no money downtown to buy fruits. Because I plant the fruit tree then where she can get her fruits and feed it. Amen. You know, it is essential that what we read about, what we preach, we practice it. Amen. That we can feed our family. And you see, when we do that, because people now I come in to watch me and them say, George, love what I do. Sometimes I pass the shop them and the budget because I hear them. Sometimes I say, when I do it because God tell me to do it. Because when I out there work in a secular world, in a kitchen, Spirit of God said, you can't stay here so. Go in the farm and I said, boy, farming, I thought it years for them to develop and forget money and so. God said, go on the farm and I believe the work. I'm going to go to the farming. And trust me, it is a blessing to see the fruit tree that I bear. You know, and the apple tree, when we plant, and I say, boy, it might be years before me eat off of this. Right now, a tree here now, dozens of apple I pick off a tree from there, I eat. But I'm give my friend in a nominal church. You know, so it's a blessing to know that you can plant the food then. When you plant your food, brethren, I tell you, there is a time will come when all the things that we depend on, forget from overseas, the chickpea, the lentil, all of these things that we depend on, the wheat flour, the spelt flour, all of them things that were shut off from with evil brown rice that we love. So we have to prepare for this for the time ahead. Prepare, brethren. I want to ask Brother George a question. Yes, my brethren. Alright, if I should come to your supermarket. Yes. I'm wondering if any preservative would be the stuff, if your stuff would carry a preservative would be your stuff. Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. And why not at all? Why? Because you see, all things that I plant, it is natural. You go on the farm, and God don't man don't tamper with it. It's no lab food. They're going natural in the earth. So everything, I don't use fertilizer and nothing. The cane, everything, the fruit tree, all the cabbage and all these things that I plant. You know, and when I see the other day was while I was on the farm and I'm going through, I plant a lot of pear tree, you know. And I said, I time them, and I said, boy, I might be this beer in a 7 year or so, or 5 year. 5 years now, I have some pear tree now. And when I go through, they say, what? You look on blossom. I say, massive. You know? Because I say, 7 years to 8 years, them pear tree in a beer. And a 5 years now, them dead. And I see them a blossom, Brother Prophet. It give me a joy. Brother Prophet, when you pick up some sweet cup in a man, I say a milk and butter, you know. I said, God, so good when we treat the sweet cup them and milk and butter. Me a taste in my mouth, tell the Brother Prophet, the sweet cup them, you know. Me go bring two and get taste. And the virgin can't get two. Alright. Well, you see, virgin, this is the reason why I have a reason why I have Brother George. Because solution is very important. So basically, solution is farming. Right? To get the stuff that the body needs, that God designed the body to get, right? Sister Christine?
Yes, good afternoon everyone. When it is that we saw the fast food restaurants are not the best place for us, we started eliminating the foods that they have there. So we started off with, okay, we'll cut out the meat. But then we said we could eat the chips. And then we looked at the chips, we saw that they used the oil that they would use to do the chicken, the fish, etc., to do the chips. So we said, all right, then maybe we can do the bread. And then we realized that even the bread, the dough that they use, would still not be good. And then we were comforting ourselves and we were saying, maybe the soy patty would be really nice because at least we can stop by here and now to get something to eat without having to prepare it at home. And there was a time when I was traveling with this secular person, and he was saying that you know that the crust of the patty is actually lard they used to make it, and it was a deliberate act. And also the soy, they put this lard in the soy. So you're eating the soy patty believing that you're eating vegetable or pulse, but then the flavor has its animal content in it. So we had to just stop altogether from all of these fast food restaurants, including those who cook the rice and peas, etc. Because even with the butter that they put inside of the rice and peas. So in essence, it left us with nothing than to prepare our own meal and travel with it on the road.
So true, so true.
Alright, moving on. Alright, brethren? Are we together so far? Are we still together? Yes. Yes. So asulfate potassium causes neurodegeneration disease. This is a type of disease in which cells in the central nervous system stops working and die. So asulfate potassium causes these conditions and more to occur in the body over a period of time. It causes what? Malabsorption of food, poor food conversion, slow processing of food, neurodegeneration disease, and so forth. Gastrointestinal tract disease, and so forth. For some persons, though, depending on how much their system organs are already compromised, will be plunged into short-term ill health. While for those who are on the healthier side, will take a longer time to suffer from these health conditions. So you have some persons might say, you know, for when me I drink bigger, you know, for when me I drink Pepsi and Cola, and nothing to do me yet, so they make it look like so you are what? You're a liar, right? So for some persons, yes, their body are on their system, their immune system are on the healthier side of life, and so those persons will take a longer time or a longer period to suffer from any health conditions. Most times individuals are not aware of the dangerous and deleterious chemicals in these beverages. So when they become sick, they continue to consume these products. Hence why it is very important that when attending to anybody's health, to ensure to advise complete diet change and purified water only as liquid, or if they want, they can drink out the jelly here and there, but it should not replace, the jelly should never replace the water. So you're sticking on the natural side of life. So sometimes you find some persons coming on with, just say, cancer, because it's so popular these days, right? Cancer. And you find that the medical commissioners will go in, and they will do, say for example, what I would say then, yes, a consultation. They will do a consultation. But then as a person continue to go to the doctor to see how they're coming on. But by the time you should revisit that person, they will tell you, or they might tell you, or they will tell you then, that, you know, say the cancer, the doctor last month, and the doctor tell me, say, boy, the cancer gone into a stage 3, and you might be wondering as a medical missionary, but how could that be? Maybe everybody that eat lots of health, he's supposed to, or she's supposed to eat, right? Come and tell you what for them, and you go through the rigmarole, right? Eat with the person. But then there's a reason that the cancer has spread. It's a possibility that it could be from the deodorant that the person is still using, even though they have changed their lifestyle. It could be a possibility, it could be the lotion that they're using, because it has the chemicals in them as well. the methyl this, the propyl glycol, it can be the conditioner shampoo that they're using. It has it in, the citric acid, you name it, right? So medical missionaries has to be thorough, completely thorough in what we do. Because as is said here, that many persons, they will stop drinking the artificial sweeteners, but then they still come down with something because there is something or something still lacking. Understand, brethren? I hope so. Brother Andre.
Absolutely agree. You know, you're always going to be compared as a person who now doesn't eat meat. You're always going to be compared to the time when you used to eat meat in the person's eyes. Because remember, you know, you're supposed to be on a better path. And when I know you before you stop eating meat, you did look nicer. You did look fat and plump and your skin shine. And it's obvious to me that if you should eat correctly as a vegetarian, then we should look like the 3 Hebrew boys. Because, and Daniel, why do we always say 3 Hebrew boys? It's not 4 of them. Right, but we always refer to just the 3. Where the 4 ask for a particular diet, and in 10 days they look fairer and fatter. Sister Mayoka explained, was sharing that there was a person who ate at the prophetess home, Sister White, who used to eat meat, and when he was leaving her home, he was fatter. So he used to eat meat, and he came to her house, not really a vegetarian, but he, you know, she took in, well, I don't know if that was the case, but from time to time she would have taken in children for school or what have you. I'm not sure of the case, but she mentioned this. So what I'm saying is, when we find ourselves in a stage, it's a point where we have to look further, because one of the things I personally was challenged with is that once it touched summer, some spots come out on my skin. It never used to happen before, but since I become vegetarian, once it touched summer, some spots come out on my forehead and my hand, right? And I'm thinking, as Brother Elijah said, everything is in the blood. And if we are not having a balance, not just a belly full, Sister Bridget, because a lot of us transition into vegetarian, we eat our whole heap of rice, or we eat dumpling and yam and what have you, and enough of that. But where is the balance in the meal to really? So we're belly full, but we're not consistent of a proper diet. And people look at that and say, I don't want that. That's one of the trouble we have. I don't want to look like that. I want to look fresh and fat and plump. I don't want to look sicky and weak. So I recall, don't want to be much longer, I recall at one point somebody said to me when I told them I was vegetarian, they said, no, you could not be. So I said, what do you mean? I don't eat meat. They said, they said, you don't look nothing like vegetarian. So I said, what vegetarian look like? So they look maga and they go sinking and everything. And I said, oh. All right, I understand what you're saying. Because, in fact, you see that, and I would say to them, listen, that's not God's way. The true way would have you look good. So there may be challenges to the person. Now, I just quickly say this. As a vegetarian, it creates the balance. So you say if you're mager, it fat you up. You say if you're too fat, it bring you down. So you carry you to the balance point, where your body is supposed to be, that size, right? Yeah, that's a true way.
Amen.
So true, Bridget. So true, Andre. And when you really look at the Bridget, we call it, when you don't cook properly, as it's very important to know how to cook properly. Cooking is very important. That's why Servant of God said in the last days, some of us is going to these home and teach them how to cook. Right? And the L2A virgin. To eat coconut is very important. Because some of us virgin, because they know that it's a good fat. When you grate the coconut, some people don't like grate the coconut. Some people don't like that. They say they think of a rubber barb or something or another. Yeah, but I don't hear. Yeah, you can blend. You also can blend. But virgin, as a vegetarian, as plant-based, we must. Coconut is very important. All right. When I just start out this lifestyle, I used to weigh 140 pounds. And when I start to eat this way, virgin, when I look at my wife, because we lose so much weight, when I look at as a servant of God, sometimes he break me and build. And virgin, by sticking to God's plan, virgin, and obedient to Him, I leave from 140. Right now, I am 160 or 65 pounds.
Amen.
You understand, virgin, as Brother George mentioned, you have to be careful or you eat, because if you put on a lot of weight, virgin. So, you see, God's plan, virgin, a lot of blessing is in it, virgin. But the thing is, virgin, oh, can, because look here, virgin, the substitute for meat is what? Peas, right? If you tell someone that you must cook your peas for 3 hours.
Several hours.
Yeah. Come on, say, no man, that's too long. You understand the mindset, virgin? The thing is, virgin, when you cook the peas that long, you have a thing in there, phytic acid. So when you don't slow cook, you have to slow cook to get rid of that phytic acid. And if you don't get rid of that phytic acid, the body is not going to get enough protein. And what the body wants, the substitute for the flesh meat is the protein, right? So the thing is, virgin, you have to slow cook these things to get rid of the phytic acid for the body to get the amount of protein that it wants. You understand, virgin? So sometimes cooking porridge and all these type of things, and because you have some people drink porridge and soup every day, that is wrong. That ties the body. That is very toxic, right? So we have have so much codes, we have so much information to guide us as a people, virgin. And once you follow these codes, virgin, we can't run, virgin. So people is going to look upon us and say they want to be like us.
Yes, brother, Prophet. You know, my wife said I must be short. So, let's talk about the proper cooking. Again, you know, I remember, let me tell you something. People around us watching us, and I don't want to call him, but I recall just by my wife saying, listen, don't cook the peas, make sure you cook it down, and when the almonds cook, you throw off whatever. And he said, no, if you do that, you throw away all the red meats, all the niceness, and all the food look whitey, because when you cook the peas, that it have the red, rich look, not true? And that the part of it eat, that part of it throw away. You understand? And when you do that, you recognize that I used to have, whenever I eat peas, I used to pass gas a lot. And interestingly enough, once it started to cook like that stopped happening. You know, I'm coming out with food.
To God be the glory. Remember, brethren, to make your points short.
Yes. Yes, Brother Prophet, as you speak about the peas and the whole cooking and thing, you know, when I just start out vegetarian eating and become a Seventh-day Adventist and learn about healthy farm, my concern was about B12. You know, because it is very important that you get your B12 because you will lose energy and the vital, mental power when you have if you have B12, you will lose it to be sharp, intellect, quick, remember things, and you will lose that. If you say you're sick, if you're sick, you cannot consume a lot of cooked food. If you have disease in your blood, So the whole of cook food, and you eat the right cooked food, but you still have a lack of energy. You need to eat more fruits and vegetables. And if you have disease in your body, you must detox, you must cleanse the blood, and you must repair the cell, and you must eat things to get energy. Amen. So no matter where you eat, if you have disease in the blood, you go sick. No matter how much good food you eat. So you must have more raw food more than more cooked food. And if you're healthy, if you're not sick, you must make sure you get your B12 because you have a lack of energy, you never have no strength. And you know, many times, Seventh-day Adventists, sometimes the food where we are eating is stress. Many times we feel so because we stress about this, we stress about that. Because if we not do the right thing, you know, when you're out there in the world, you do things in a conscience certain way. You just do it because you become a Christian now, a follower of Christ now. Your conscience is more sharp towards sin. So as you make a mistake, and you realize you make a mistake, you start stress yourself. So most stress kill pressure severely, stress. So when you eat right, you have to make sure you're not worried and not fret and not worried about this. It kills your life. Kills your life, bring up the stress. And if you have the disease, as we said in your blood, like cancer, AIDS, any one of these diseases the doctor said can't cure, you must, first stage, you must detox, you must cleanse the blood, and you must repair the cell, and you must eat the things to give back energy. So if we don't do all of these things, Brother Prophet, we not going to get no strength. We not going to get no strength to do the work. You know, because these things, yes, nobody can happy with them sick, you know. You can't worship God in the fullest when you're sick, you know. All you think about yourself, you know. We're lying in bed at night time and can't sleep. The most people who follow Christ are sick people, you know. Sick people come to church, you know, they want cure, you know. When you look back in the days, sick, I go and cut now. Sick people follow Christ, and Christ said, come unto me when you're sick, and heaven aided, I will give you rest. Yes.
So true, Brother George, and one of the ways to get the vitamin B12, you see, as you wake up in the morning, Bridget, otherwise, I know the first thing we try to do is to pray, but when you go brush your teeth, Bridget, don't wash out your mouth and spit out that water. Yeah, the body carry that, the mouth carry that vitamin B12 need to gargle your mouth and get back that down the system. That also is vitamin B12. And when I was in the nominal virgins, I couldn't understand, when I used e-survey, I couldn't understand the prophecy. When someone is teaching, it becomes like the hardest thing, virgin, to understand. And I realized that by making the adjustment as though God wants to make virgin, you realize that something just come easy. And I said, don't even look so, oh, back beneath is so hard. You understand, virgin? So you realize that once you have a clean bloodstream, you have a sharp mind. Right? And I was talking to this brother from the UK, and he said to me that he's a Gentile. And he said to me that, oh, the world set up, the system where the world set up with these vaccines and all these type of things, it affects with DNA. And once you have affected DNA, you disconnect it from God. Yes. So when you really look on this virgin, so you see the plan of the enemy virgin, detach us from God. Right? So what we should know as a people, and it's so hard and difficult, is because if we check the bloodline, something wrong with the bloodline. Something wrong with the bloodline. And by God's grace, virgin, it can clean up. And I would have wanted a detox, but I would say we want an A to Z tax. You understand, virgin? An A to Z tax. So virgin, that's how much sin corrupt us, virgin. And virgin, I'm going to say something to you. You see, once you have a clean blood, virgin, you can't think negative. All you try to think negative, all you try to do, but you can't be, virgin, because the bloodline is just right. And God, and that's why, virgin, God not have to get the obedient few that he want to carry the last message. And that's why in the story of redemption, the quotation says Christ, the story of Jesus, if Christ did have, let's say an impatient word, he couldn't make it. Just an impatient word. You know what I say? You know what he's saying to us, brethren? And when you go further in the quotation, he said Christ got through every temptation. And he said we now go through half of it when he got through. And if we now go through half of it Christ have got through, right, wait that let's say, brethren, we can go through. We can make it, brethren. But we have to obedient to what God has given us to be better people living for Him. And when you really look, brethren, if Him have a negative thought, and that could make Him lose out. Imagine today, brethren, when the mark of the beast will come, brethren, would not fit into the position to carry the last message. Because we have an impure thought. We cannot have an impure thought. We have a mind of a crystal clear, brethren. How can we have a crystal mind? Diet, check the diet. Diet is very important. Some of the time, brethren, if you don't be careful, sometimes so arrogant and some energy will come out about. Sometimes we deal with the children, sometimes, brethren, sometimes we check ourselves properly and realize there's something wrong with the blood. All of us have a work to do, brethren. All of us have a work to do. And time is short. And no doubt about, brethren, try soon to come. And no doubt about it, he's going to get his remnant. No doubt about it, brethren.
Amen.
Sister Bernadette?
Yes, so cover that. My question was,
when you remember. Alright? Okay, moving on now quickly. So non-nutritive substances, Bridging, are we here? Alright. Non-nutritive substances contain 0 or very little calories and other nutrients. They provide no vitamins or minerals. Did you get that? Tell me of one non-nutritive substance. Alright, good. And also A-sulfate potassium. Right, brethren? These are non-nutritive substances that contain 0 or very little calories and other nutrients. They provide no vitamins or minerals. When discussing or reading about non-nutritive substances, non-calorie or artificial sweeteners. Let me go again. When we are discussing or reading about non-nutritive substances or non-calorie substances, artificial sweeteners should come to mind. When you read about what? Non-nutritive substances, meaning it contains no nutrients, right? Non-nutritive substances like the artificial sweeteners and the no-calorie. Artificial sweeteners like A-sulfate, potassium, sucralose, what we have mentioned this morning, should come to your mind. It says, according to Sister Burnett, the chemical cuisines rating of A-sulfate potassium that was updated January 4, 2021. It says, Food and Drug Administration, FDA, should require manufacturers to conduct a high-quality modern-day studies of A-sulfate potassium or withdraw its approval of it. Because these artificial sweeteners should not be consumed. Amen. There we go. Sister Burnett, make your point quick and short.
Quick. Okay, like I was saying, I would have asked about the B12, but you would have already answered that question. I want to thank you, by God's grace, for these presentations like these, because I'm learning things I didn't know, and I would like to hear more of this as well. As we go through, I would really ask you to go a little slower, because I'd like to retain some of the stuff that you're presenting. Quickly, I would have heard person says more than one time that when you cook the bean, or whatever bean you're cooking, that you should not, when you could be like, you must throw off that water and don't cook it on with the same water. I wanted a little clarification on that. Is that something that we should do or shouldn't do? Also, a quick testimony. My mommy was sick and I went by to make some soup for her. I would have brought lentils because you know it's rich in protein and stuff. So I would have brought that to make the soup and stuff. I did have a bonding experience with my elder brother, which I really give God thanks for, because while we were cooking, I was able to share the message with him. And you know they brought their soup different from us, right? So he was asking where was the cock soup, and I don't see I have cock soup and stuff like that to go in the soup, and I said I don't use cock soup. So he said, what kind of soup you make this? So I said, well, I'm going to cook and you're going to watch. So he would have had me like peel the yams and stuff, but I would be the one to spice the pot and everything. And when I looked into his cupboard, it was all Maggi seasoning and paprika and stuff like those. And I was saying, oh my goodness, I forgot to buy the herbs when I was coming up, what am I going to do? Because he's asking for the cock soup, right? But I would have prayed and said, God, something, onion powder, garlic powder, something like that, must be in the cupboard, right? At one point I was saying, Chow, maybe use a little Maggi at one time. But you know, your conscience will not let you do it wrong, right? So when I look up in the shelf, I saw that he had garlic powder up there. And just the garlic powder with your skeleton and thyme, you know, and your coconut, I had the whole coconut, the natural one, and we would have plenty of time to use it. And would you believe that everybody that came by the house that day, they would have smelled the soup and everybody wanted soup? You ever hear them say when they're growing up, say when you're on a little boat, when it's about for land, when the ship are going, everybody come and it's too much person. Like the motor person gets soup the night, and then there was, my cousin was there and she was saying, boy, that's so kind of nice, man. Oh, you met this. They didn't teach people to make them something here. So I'm saying that when we get the opportunity to share the message, we have to really share, because there are persons out there who really want to know how to do these things. They don't know just working what they actually know. And so, based on that experience, I was able to share with them, oh, you can make the natural soup without chicken foot and all of things. And it's even nicer than what they are drinking. So yeah, I'm going to be proud of the message and really sure that we get the chance.
Amen. Amen.
As Sister Bernard mentioned, I went to a wedding once. And yeah, one of my friends was supposed to marry. Was getting married. So, but the chef said, Prophet, you know, say we good, so you know, fresh meat though. You know what the fuck, I'm going to fix up a little something here. So he was doing rice and peas, but at the time he never put the pea, he never put the rice into the peas up there. So he said, alright, so he take out some of the peas out of the cooked peas and said, I'm going to fix up something for you. And I look at a good amount of people at the wedding of Virgin. And Virgin believes that when the vegetarian, the soup Virgin, you have the goat, you have manish water one side and then vegetarian soup one side, all natural stuff. You believe that nobody never wanted the manish water? Some of the people who are healthy farm Virgin, never get any ice. You get any of the soup? Not even she get any of the soup. So you must know, Virgin, as Sister Bernard said, when you're obedient to God, Virgin, you wouldn't be marveled as a man. The people, they see the crave for the natural stuff, Virgin. But sometimes people have little doubt in them and say, wonder, when they go want it, they go make up their face. They realize, Virgin, when we make up a face, when that the world wants. And that, Virgin, no doubt about the blessing into it, Virgin. I can give a next testimony, Virgin. Me used to 6 sticks every minute. She can't tell you. If someone sneezes on me, I will sick. If my throat feel away,